Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Wes.
Happy holidays.
I love the holidays.
Me too. You know what's tough for me, though?
What's that?
Well, I don't drink alcohol, and there's all these parties and dinners to go to, and I'm kind of afraid to bring a bottle of wine with me as a gift because I kind of think I'm going to choose the wrong one.
Well, I don't drink either, and I have a solution for that. Did you know that you can join the Community Wine and Spirits monthly wine club, the Mutual Satisfaction Society? You'll receive 3 carefully selected bottles every month, complete with tasting notes and detailed information on each wine, all for $90. Join in the next 24 hours and get 20% off your first shipment. Want fancier wine? We got you. Join the Mutual Satisfaction Society Plus for extra satisfaction. $150 will get you 3 very special bottles. Let us take the trouble out of selecting great wines that you will love. Your first shipment is 20% off just for listening to View the Right Thing. Join the community today at www.communitywineandspirits.com or DM us at CommunityWS.
All right, thanks.
You got it.
On this installment of View the Right Thing, we review a timeless tale of family set among the backdrop of the city of St. Louis in 1903. We follow the well-off Smith family, whose eldest of 4 daughters, 17-year-old Esther, falls for the boy next door. Amidst music and romance, the family faces upheaval when Mr. Smith announces a job transfer to New York just before the 1904 World's Fair. Wes and Alexis do their best to hold back their rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas while they give us their review of 1944's Meet Me in St. Louis on View the Right Thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome to another episode of View the Right Thing. I'm Wes.
I'm Alexis.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
I bet
How
that
are
was
you?
fun to watch for the video people.
Yeah. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both wearing our History Sucks shirts.
History sucks.
They look pretty similar in color on camera,
But they are not.
but they're not. Yours
No.
is blue and mine's green.
Yes.
I'm wearing the tri-blend.
And I'm wearing the unisex.
Wait, is this a tri-blend too? Oh, it's a tri-blend too.
It is?
maybe. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay,
it's
great.
a tri-blend blue one. Yeah.
Well,
Good.
do the right thing.
Yeah, got on the sleeve.
Yes.
Yeah. There's new things being added all the time. I don't know. Did you see that we added a toddler shirt?
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. That is so exciting. You have a toddler shirt?
Yeah, it's there's an adult version of it too, but it's the remember when you used to put in your VHS and at the beginning it would say the following film has been formatted to fit your screen?
Yes.
That's the toddler shirt.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so great with the holidays very, very fast approaching.
Yes, get your shirts.
I know what I'm sending to some of my little
Tiny friends?
tiny friends, my small humans.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I just pulled it up. They're very cute.
Yeah. Well, it works too for adults. You know, you might know some small adults in your life. I know some tiny adults. So,
Yes.
yeah, this film has been modified from its original version and formatted to fit your screen. And fit your TV, I think is what it is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorites.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're gonna have more and more shirts, and I want to put a bunch out that are not necessarily related to the podcast, but related to film, kind of like that. So there'll be some things. There's a like a Best Boy shirt I'm gonna do, and
Best Boy.
yeah, I wish we had the ability to do pet shirts, because then I would think Best Boy would be really cute on a pet shirt.
Oh my gosh. Spelled B-O-I.
Sure.
Best Boy.
Best Boy. But yeah, so there's
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's some fun ones coming up. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yes.
For the merchandise.
Is Be Kind Rewind copyrighted?
Might be because it was a phrase specifically used, I think, by Blockbuster, and it was a movie.
It was?
Yeah, it was Jack Black.
Whoops. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
about they make like bootleg versions of things with like little dioramas and puppets and stuff.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. But that would have been cool.
Yeah, there's been some question about what can we get away with on these shirts. So, and that was with the film being more formatted for your TV. That was a question of like, are we able to do that? And it seems like there were a lot of different studios doing it. So I think we're okay.
Okay. Awesome.
I hope we're okay.
We're totally okay.
Yeah. Speaking of stuff, like merchandise and whatnot, we have a Patreon. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It's free to join. If you want to watch the video version of the podcast, that's an exclusive Patreon thing for paid tier people, but you don't have to pay. You can do the free, and you get the little newsletter and updates and whatnot. You can know about. I didn't tell you. I have something I haven't told you yet.
Oh.
I am working on getting us a new guest to be on the show.
A new guest?
Yeah, you'll be really excited. She has a focus on classic Hollywood and specifically how fashion was used in old classic Hollywood. So,
what?
She's really knowledgeable, and anyways, we've been having little discussions about maybe her doing an episode with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's got a great Instagram account.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Yes, we'll have to talk about this. This is completely new.
And how that relates to Patreon is that we do these newsletters once a week that tell you what's going to come up in a few days. And if we have a guest, we'd feature the guest in a little profile about them in that newsletter, that week's newsletter. So that's what made me think of her.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yay! Oh, I'm excited too.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
I'll show you her Instagram later. Actually, I'll show you her Instagram now while we're talking. So in addition to Patreon, we're also on Instagram. We're on the TikToks. We are YouTube. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Where else are we?
Are we on Threads?
We're not on Threads. Do you want to do a Thread account? Because if you want to do the Thread account, I would love it.
Okay. Start Thread account.
This is her profile. You can scroll through that while I'm talking.
Cool.
Start a Thread account. Is that what you just did?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So follow us. We also would appreciate if you wouldn't mind, sharing the podcast with people liking, leaving reviews, subscribing, all that good jazz. That'd be really, really helpful. So I don't any other exciting things to talk about on your end of things? Anything you can think of?
On my end, no. I'm just really excited to be watching all these Christmas movies.
Yeah, the holiday movies. So for full disclosure, the holiday bucket does have non-Christmas films in it, meaning like Hanukkah. So it's just what the bucket deems, what it gives us is what we get. So anyways, just wanted to clarify that we weren't being, insensitive.
We like all the movies.
Yeah. I was just looking at the ETs in the background. It just made me really happy. Sorry. You got distracted. There's some good stuff back there.
It's some good stuff.
There's like Spider-Man. Our little theater candy, like our popcorn and soda.
Kermit and Miss Piggy right here.
From the Muppets.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, trailers?
Yeah.
Trailers?
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that, this was months ago, but I was listening to an old episode. And in the Critters episode, we talk so much about anything but the movie. So I'm glad we're kind of just like cutting through it a little bit here today.
Yes.
Let's
get right to it.
So trailers. So we watched Better Man, which is the new movie about Robbie Williams starring a monkey.
Is it like, so it was a pretty short trailer, but
it's a little teaser, yeah.
Is it like essentially telling his life story as a monkey?
I think so. I think probably for a couple reasons. Probably, it's just more interesting, but also he's playing himself, and it's probably really, unless they want to spend, I guess they could spend the money on de-aging him instead of
like what they did in The Irishman?
A CG monkey, yeah. So I mean, this is probably
those of you listening. I was emphatically shaking my head no.
Yeah, this is probably a more interesting way to do that, and have him play himself. So yeah. I think it looks cool. I'm excited about it. Good filmmakers making it, and I think they must have a lot of faith in it because they're releasing limited at Christmas and then everywhere in January, which tells me they're going for awards.
Wow.
Because they could just wait till January, right? Why pack it in with all the other like holiday releases?
Right. It looks.
You seemed indifferent about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jeff will really like it.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks dynamic and like well shot and fun. So, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know much about Robbie Williams' life.
I know nothing about his life.
Yeah.
I like him as a musician. I hope he's a good person and it's worth watching a movie about him.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. So there was that.
Yeah.
There was that movie.
Yeah. And then we saw Clint Eastwood's new movie has a trailer. Juror Number 2.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
I like it.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm very interested in seeing it.
Yeah. The more I think about Clint Eastwood and sort of like, I don't know, there's things I don't like about him outside of film. So it's like you see his name, you're kind of like, but he's such a good director. So
it's that like very delicate balance between like paying attention to who the person is as a human and who they are as a creative.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I'm learning to like separate them more.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I wouldn't get to watch a lot.
In today's society, it's a constant battle.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But it looks really fascinating. This guy gets in a car accident and he thinks that he hit something. He thinks it's a deer and then ends up being a juror on this murder case. And he thinks he might have been the one who caused that murder, that he didn't hit a deer and he hit that woman.
And somebody else is being...
Yes.
Going down for it.
Yes.
Unjustly.
Right.
I bet it's going to be like... It seems like maybe the couple in it have a tumultuous relationship. And so I bet they're going to really paint the guy as like real bad. Yeah. So sort of like make you go, well, is it okay if he goes away? Like I think that's what they're going to want. But
yeah.
The answer is no, it's not okay.
It's not.
If he didn't do it, it's not okay.
Accountability is important.
Yeah. But when you're in the moment watching a movie,
of course,
make you conflicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did. There's a really great Kevin Bacon movie that's kind of like that.
Really?
Called The Woodsman.
Oh.
Where he plays a registered sex offender, and they do a really good job of helping you identify yourself in him.
Whoa.
Not related to the pedophilia stuff, but related to everything else in his life and sort of empathizing with the situation he's in post incarceration.
Wow.
And Kevin Bacon is, I think it's probably his best film. Like he's just so good in it.
Oh, wow.
Highly recommend The Woodsman. It will leave you conflicted because you go, oh yeah, I empathize. I feel bad for the guy, but you're also kind of like, yeah, gross. Ugh. Like he's also like a monster. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really well done movie.
I'm adding that to the list.
Wisman, we can throw it in the bucket if you want.
Ooh, okay.
We should make a list of things to throw in the bucket, because sometimes we do the podcast and I go, oh yeah, we can put that in the bucket, and then we forget about it and don't. Or I go, oh yeah, I'll show you a trailer afterwards. We never.
I'm starting a notes section called "Add to the Bucket."
Okay.
So that we remember.
The Woodsman. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now I got to get back to my notes for this.
Yeah,
cool.
I should pull up my notes. I have some notes, and I'm going to have to read some because some of them have like quotes, and
awesome.
Some of them are technical.
Okay.
I don't know how technical I'll get. Like, do you really need to know the people who made the lights? I don't know. But I have that in my notes. So what did we watch today?
Today we watched Meet Me in St. Louis, or Meet Me in St. Louis, however you prefer to pronounce it.
Tootie corrects that man in the movie that it is Louis.
Yes.
So.
But not in the song. So Meet Me in St. Louis, we'll say, is the name of the movie. And this movie, here's the very tiny description of this movie.
Yeah.
Young love and childish fears highlight a year in the life of a turn-of-the-century family.
Yeah, okay.
That is so vague.
It is pretty vague. It's a very, very simplistic view of this. But yeah, it's also not that complicated of a plot, I guess. But so this movie has got Judy Garland, Margaret O'Brien, June Lockhart,
yes,
Mary Astor.
Yes.
Yeah, some great legends in this. So this movie is based on a true story. It's based on a real life. It's a book written by Sally Benson. I believe it was put in like the New Yorker in several pieces. And there's a moment in the movie even where Judy Garland sings her address.
Oh yeah,
and that was their address. It's I think a vacant lot now, but
yeah.
But yeah, so
wow.
The character of Agnes is based on Sally Benson herself.
Oh.
Although Agnes was the next to youngest daughter in the film.
Oh, okay.
But Sally's nickname as a kid was Tootie. So they kind of just like, multiple things.
Interesting.
It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. I say a bunch, maybe like 4 or 5. It was nominated for screenplay, cinematography, music, song, and it won a special award that they made for this film.
What?
Child actor, the Juvenile Award, is what they called it.
To Tootie?
To Margaret O'Brien. Yeah.
She did a really great job.
She was really, really good. Yeah.
I would say she stole the show.
Yeah.
Clearly.
The Trolley song is ranked number 26 on the AFI list of 100 greatest songs in American films. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Was that song created for this movie?
No.
Okay.
Ranked number 72.
Okay.
It's included among the 25 films on AFI's list of AFI's greatest movie musicals.
Wow.
It was huge in the box office. It grossed more money than any previous MGM release in 20 years, with the exception of Gone with the Wind, which is like the box office king of all time, really.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this did come out during World War II.
Yeah.
So that would make sense that people would want to watch something fun and playful.
Yeah, but 20 years, and MGM is like known for their like big musicals and stuff. So I don't know. That's a pretty big deal. Tell me about some of your notes, and I'll.
Some of my notes.
She wrote 3 total notes.
More than that. I love the theme song.
Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful.
Anybody who's been to Disneyland knows that plays over and over and over again in Main Street.
Oh.
Because Walt Disney's hometown, is Marceline, Missouri.
I thought he was from Illinois.
He was born in Illinois, but where he grew up and his very first studio where he created the Alice comedies, which was a mixture of live action and animation, was done in Marceline, Missouri. That was just prior to moving to California.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's cute.
Yeah.
I was so confused about the whole ketchup ordeal.
Yeah.
So they start out making ketchup.
Yeah.
Everyone is tasting the damn ketchup.
I love that. I love that everybody had like a different take on the ketchup.
But also it's like they're family, so that's fine. But like after the living in post-COVID world, it's just like, y'all are using the same spoon.
Yeah, they're in a pod.
Yeah.
If you're in a pod, it's okay, even in COVID world.
Yes. I know.
COVID land.
COVID land.
That's like the worst Monopoly version ever.
So that was just interesting. Yes, everyone had a lot of things to say, like, oh, it's too thin, it's too thick, it's too sweet, it's too sour.
Flat.
Yeah.
And it was thin.
It was super thin.
I wondered if it like thickened up as it cooled or something.
That's what I was just wondering as well.
Yeah.
Perhaps. That is possible.
Technically, the definition of ketchup is a smooth sauce made of tomato and vinegar. So, I guess ketchup could be thin. Could be real thin, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually you don't want that like ketchup water. That's what it kind of looked like.
Ketchup water. It did look like ketchup water.
Yeah.
Blech. Ugh.
No,
it's always so disappointing. That's why you got to shake it up.
Yeah, shake it up.
That grandpa has a lot of hats.
I loved his hats. I wish I would have spent more time in his room.
I know. His bedroom was so intriguing. He seemed like a very interesting man, and I wish they could have gone into more detail about him.
Did he say he had 12 guns in his room?
He sure did.
Yeah, 12 guns.
12 guns.
Yeah.
You never know
when
you'll need 12 guns.
Yeah, when you need 12 guns.
I mean, this takes place in 1903, so maybe raccoons, man. Raccoons.
Sure.
That's the only thing I could think of. I think it's so funny that they're going on and on about long distance phone calls, but I also forgot that long distance used to be a big deal.
Oh yeah. I mean, phones in that era were a big deal just in general, but yeah, long distance. I mean, you'd think it was going to be like a wire. I'm waiting for a wire from Warren.
Right. He's supposed to call around this time.
Yeah.
He's calling from New York. Oh.
Well, that's a good point though, that the time is like important. Like you know, if you know there's going to be a call from long distance, you better be home because
right.
It's not going to happen again.
And it also makes me wonder because my mom told me about when she was a kid, they had party lines.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a thing in 1903.
Yeah, that would have been a thing around the turn of the century.
So, okay. So, like, it makes it even that much more like, I need to be by the phone.
Yeah, so that's what they were talking about, the operator.
Mm-hmm.
So the operator would have like connected that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Disneyland again, if you're on Main Street, they do have occasional phones where you can pick up and listen, and you're listening in on a party line.
What?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I also haven't been to Disneyland in many years. So.
You got to go with me.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know. I do. We need to go.
Maybe we should just go without Jeff.
But then, yeah.
I know that we have to pay for it. I understand that. I understand that dilemma.
You heard that.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't wanna. What else here? Oh, the 5-year-old Tootie has a job.
Yeah.
On an ice truck. A 5-year-old has a job.
Is that really her job though?
I don't know.
Or is it like she's pretending that she's going to work every day, and they sort of like play into the
I mean, she is
fantasy.
a very precocious child.
That is an understatement.
I know. Is there a stronger word than that? I don't even. Yeah. The whole town knew her.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't a job. Maybe she just loved being in the middle of everything. She did.
Yeah.
She loved being in the middle of everything. And if you're saying that the woman who wrote the story based sort of a mixture of the second youngest and Tootie on herself, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
She wants to be in on the action. She wants to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that is so Tootie, which is really fun. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
Also, why Tootie?
I don't know.
I had a dog named Tootie, and every time they said Tootie, it just made me giggle.
Yeah, there was a Tootie on Facts of Life, too.
Yes, there was a Tootie on the Facts of Life.
I don't know, maybe it was a...
I don't understand what the nickname was for, because my dog was a Dalmatian, and half her face was black and half of it was white, and so it was short for two-tone.
Super... Oh, I thought you were going to say super gassy.
That too, but...
So Margaret O'Brien was like a rising star at this time.
Is that the little girl?
The little Tootie, yeah.
Okay.
Since we're talking about her.
Yeah, please.
So her mom knew this and was like, we want a raise. And MGM was like, you're not getting a raise. And then the mom was like, we want a raise. And MGM was like, well, we'll just cast Sharon McManus. And they're like, who? Sharon McManus was the daughter of the studio's electrician. And they were like, nope, we're gonna Sharon's our girl now. We don't need Margaret. Mm-hmm. And so they did like costume fittings with Sharon. They started doing some photographs with her and stuff. And they got closer and closer to filming, and Margaret O'Brien's mom just held firm. She knew, and MGM eventually was like, "Fine, you can have your stupid money." I feel bad for Sharon.
I know.
She thought she was going to be like a star.
They were just using her as a pawn.
Yeah,
that sucks.
So
bad MGM.
Yeah. Well, you want to hear the crazy part about all that? So, Sharon's father, the electrician, was employed on this movie. Mm-hmm. And he intentionally dropped a light and almost hit Margaret O'Brien with it. It hit next to her. He was arrested and put in a mental institution.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's very drastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very, but like, did he purposefully drop
Yes, yeah, he was.
It wasn't like I'm so sorry. It was a whoops.
Yeah, he was trying to harm that girl either through trauma or kill her.
God, I'm so torn by that. Like, I don't know if the mental, I'm torn. No, not, sorry.
I kind of wish he hit that girl.
The answers in my head made more sense. So I'm torn by the fact that he was put into a mental institution.
Well, I mean, I think he's probably had some sort of mental break. I mean, at that era, mental institutions were crazy.
Yes.
But,
and like, I feel like they did that to just get him out of their way instead of actually.
He did try to murder a 7-year-old.
Did he try to murder her or injure her? Not like, they're both bad. Shit.
Even if he was trying to just injure her, even if he was just trying to scare her, he could have killed her. Like, he did something that could have.
True, because we're talking about like the big ass light.
That's
not just like a lamp.
I don't think that's sane behavior.
Okay.
And it had to have been premeditated, right? Because he was upset about his daughter. So.
Well, the MGM shouldn't have done that.
MGM shouldn't have done that. MGM has a hand in that, for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
But MGM doesn't get put in the mental institution.
You don't know. Go ahead.
Why are they so afraid of their father? They're so afraid of him at the beginning of this movie.
He's a bit of a bully.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. But why is he such a bully?
The era, probably. I don't know.
It just was so strange. None of them were telling him why they moved the dinner up to 5 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. And then they're getting like, but he doesn't, why isn't he paying attention? Because you're not giving him all the information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now. Like, maybe that's why he's mean, is because they don't share all the information and they expect him to just roll with the punches.
Yeah. I did find it weird. Like, they really do paint the dad as kind of like a jerk.
Yes.
And then at the end of the movie, you know, he saves Christmas or whatever.
Sort of.
And so, yeah. And so it's sort of like, I guess we're supposed to like him now. This was like they did this moment specifically because they made him such a bad guy earlier in the film.
Yeah.
He's not evil or anything. He just is kind of a jerk.
He's just not likable.
Yeah. He's
not a likable character. I legitimately write, this father, I just don't like him.
Yeah, no. He's
he
bad.
just...
Yeah.
I guess he's just like the absent father who does the work and provides all the things.
He's meh in a suit.
Meh.
He's just meh. That's how I feel about him.
Yes. Meh. What is in a suit?
In a suit.
Oh, in a suit.
Meh in a suit.
He is meh in a suit. Yeah.
Meh personified.
But I would imagine that a fair amount of men were like that.
Oh, sure.
Which
that's not what I want.
Tracks.
That's not what I want in my MG musical.
No, it's not what I want in a musical.
Like, imagine if he'd been a loving father. This would have been more fun.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess the woman who wrote this story, I want to read this story. Like,
right.
I want to read the actual, what it was based off of, to see if he really was he was a curmudgeon.
Yeah. And
was the grandfather his dad or the mom's dad? Because the mom, like, Gramps was so nice.
Yeah, Gramps was, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what his character's name was, but he's Gramps to me.
Yeah.
Grandpa. He was just Grandpa. So whatever. That phone call. Oh, it was after all that, like, build up. Oh, he's going to call. And they're just like, what? I can't hear you. Just like yelling. The mom has to close the window so that the neighbors can't hear because she's yelling so loud to try and hear what he's saying, even though, like, one of the sisters sitting at the table can hear.
Yeah.
It was all just such a show.
Yeah.
It was such a show.
Also, Warren's a chump. I didn't like a lot of the guys in this movie. I didn't like. I didn't like Warren. I didn't like John. I didn't like the dad. The grandpa's the only likable guy. Well, the ice truck driver.
The ice truck driver was very nice. Yes. I do feel like the women were smarter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the women were all settling, because that's very much how I felt. They all could have done better. Every one of them, from the mom down.
Women had to settle back then.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird because there was a whole thing about Rose, like, not really caring that much about, and she was getting lots of dates and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Well, I think she really just wanted Warren.
Like, you're talking about, like, women have to settle, but, like, Judy Garland's character is 15 and she, you know what I mean? Like, she's got plenty of time.
And her sister, like, Rose, is only a year older than her.
She's just about to graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and they're talking about getting married.
Yeah. Which I get from the era, but it's still like, you know.
To be fair, I was engaged in high school. Surprise.
Alexis. Did your parents know?
No, I didn't tell them. And, like, one day my mom goes, Alexis, are you engaged? And I was like, why? Because I never wore the ring around her, ever. I had a ring. It was like a promise ring. It wasn't anything fancy. But I was like, why? And she goes, because I asked you. And I was like, who told you? And she goes, nobody. I had a dream about it, so I thought I'd ask you. I was like, oh, man.
Your mom is a prophet.
She has had prophetic dreams. It's upsetting.
It's upsetting. I guess so. I guess if you're getting caught.
So I guess like these youngins wanting to get married, I guess I don't really have anything to say.
You can't judge.
I can't judge. I wanted to get married like right away when I was little.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was like, I want to get married and I want to have 10 kids. Oh, God. I would never sleep. Having to take care of all those kids.
Well, yeah. Between taking care of them and making them, you never go to sleep. It would just be a nightmare. A waking nightmare.
So I guess I take it back that they're too young to want to get married.
Yeah.
There's just all those hormones racing through their bodies. And
yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Judy's eyebrows are so distracting.
They really are.
They're so thin and they're so far apart.
I was wondering if they weren't really there. If those were completely drawn on.
They did a bad job at trying them on. If those were drawn on, because they didn't start until like just above her pupil.
That's one of the reasons I thought maybe they were drawn on.
Was that a thing?
They were like
in the early 1900s to like have practically non-existent super wide,
I don't know,
like far apart wide.
Because it wasn't a thing in the 40s.
No,
I don't think.
No,
they had like women had like not, I don't want to say thick eyebrows, but like
they were thicker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because like the 20s were the really, really thin, pencil thin eyebrows. And then they gradually started letting them grow back. Yeah. Kind of like how in the 90s, the eyebrows were really thin.
Yeah.
It started letting them grow back. It's this vicious cycle of...
Were you hearing
a
voice?
Uh-huh.
In the other room?
Uh-huh. It sounded like the hallway.
Oh, it came in the hallway. I'm sorry. I got distracted and I was like...
Okay.
Wasn't sure if I was going insane or not, like just imagining things or...
No, I heard that too.
Okay. Yeah, I thought her eyebrows were crazy. There's maybe a possibility that she definitely was going through some things as an actress at the time.
Was she?
Oh yeah, from childhood on. She was being fed stimulants by the studios.
She was
starting
being given uppers and downers.
Yeah, starting with like even as early as Wizard of Oz, my understanding.
Yep.
She was gorked out of her mind making this movie.
I could see that.
Her
pupils were saucers.
There's actually a story where she was kind of like ill-behaved on the set of this. Like she would just kind of show up whenever, make people wait a really long time for her. Like people would be on set waiting for hours for her to just like come out of her dressing room ready. But she sort of like was like, nothing's wrong. And Mary Astor, I believe, came in. Yeah, Mary Astor, who played her mom. She called her mom on set. Came in one day and she's like, "What's wrong with you? Like you used to be like on your game." And she's like, what do you mean? And Mary Astor's like, you got us waiting out there. You need to get your shit in gear and like come out. She didn't say shit.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm paraphrasing this all obviously. She's like, you need to come out. We're just waiting for you. And she's like, Mom, I don't sleep. And she's like, well, then you just need to go to bed earlier, like the rest of us. Get it together. And like left, later realizing what she meant by "Mom, I don't sleep." And it was a cry for help, and she just missed it.
Oh man.
And she it haunted her later on,
I'm sure.
So yeah. And Judy Garland was really like protective over Margaret O'Brien. She was like super, super concerned what the studio was going to do to her as a child because she knew what had happened to her. So she was, and you can kind of see that in this film.
Yeah.
You can kind of see like this like mentorship like thing. I know they're supposed to be older sister and younger sister, so it fits anyways. But you can just kind of feel it in their interactions with each other.
Yeah.
So
definitely, like especially. I could definitely feel this sisterly protectiveness during the dancing scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When It was just so darling.
after she does the drunk song for the crowd at the party. Yeah.
The 5-year-old singing a song about being drunk.
Yeah.
Which I can also relate to. When I was in 6th grade, I really wanted to sing All I Want to Do by Sheryl Crow.
Okay.
At our school concert. And I was like, random teacher, I'm like, can I sing this song? And she's like, I don't think that's appropriate. And I guess I wasn't thinking, oh, the lyrics are, I like a good beer buzz early in the morning. Oh, okay. Kids just like to, they don't think about what the words mean. They're just like, it's fun.
Well, we have a friend who works for Kids Bop.
Yep.
And,
Uh-huh.
They
are very clever with changing up the words.
They are. But the fact that they're doing some of these songs in the first place is interesting. Yeah, because it means kids like these songs and they're listening to them anyways. And it's like, these songs maybe aren't appropriate for kids to begin with. The fact that you have to change the lyrics because kids really like the song is like...
I remember hearing very inappropriate songs on the radio.
Oh, sure.
When we were kids.
Sure.
There's a short man.
Yeah, but... Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I'm just saying, yeah, whatever.
The inappropriate songs have always been around.
There are...
At least they're trying to make it appropriate for the kids to sing at school.
I agree. I get with that, and I agree with that. I'm just saying the fact that they're... I don't know. Some of these songs are way more than... Some of the songs are... I heard a Kids Bop version of the Kendrick Lamar Drake diss track.
Oh.
Yeah, that I just don't think kids need to sing versions of that.
Yeah, that it would be like them trying to make a Kids Bop version of "Doing It" by LL Cool J.
Or like "I Touch Myself" by Divinals or something. So yeah. Probably doesn't need to happen. Some of these things, like I'm just waiting for that new Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish song. Wait for the Kids Bop version of that. I mean,
I think they turned Pink Pony Club into a Kids Bop song.
I'm pretty sure they did. That's a song about stripping. Like, come on.
Oh.
Good for them for making all that money off those children.
Right? That's what they do.
Yeah. Anyways.
What's
your next note?
Women played stupid an awful lot back then.
Yeah, I did like that they had a very knowing sort of relationship, like the maid and the housekeeper.
Yeah.
There was a comment really early on about men. Which I thought was pretty funny. It's like I like that they acknowledge they didn't do that in private. They didn't play dumb in private. They had like a very knowing thing with each other, and they all sort of like spoke each other's language.
Right.
Yeah.
But around men, they played stupid. Like, I don't know how to do this thing.
Yeah. I can't. I'm afraid of mice. And I like that.
How do I turn off the lamps?
John kind of calls her out on it later, which I think is kind of funny.
I know.
As well.
I know.
Afraid of mice. And she's like, "You moron! All the lights are already off."
He's like, "Duh."
The women are actually, for this era, even for the 1940s, were very strong. I thought, like she goes over to like beat the shit out of them after she thinks he hit Tootie. She goes over and just like starts pummeling him. So like I think even for the 40s, like their portrayal of women was pretty progressive.
That the movie was actually made in the 40s.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of movies made in the 40s, women are still like
demure.
I've got the vapors.
Yeah. True.
Very demure, very cutesy.
I didn't. That was.
I heard you say demure. So.
No, but I was using the word like just.
Yeah, but it's 2024. If you say demure, you have to say cutesy. Also, it's like law.
Okay.
I expect more out of you.
This movie is the first time I've ever heard all the lyrics to "Skip to My Lou."
Same.
I didn't know. I thought it was just "Skip to My Lou."
Well, it's funny because I was like, oh yeah, this is a square dancing song.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Did you have to learn square dancing in school?
Doesn't every kid have to learn square dancing in
I don't
school?
think they have to learn that anymore.
What? Really? No, surely they do.
People with children, are your kids learning square dancing still? Or when I was teaching, I used to teach yoga in Chicago public schools, and they were teaching the students the Macarena as if it was something old.
Oh, wow.
And that hurt deep inside.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they still even teach that. I mean, square dancing isn't like a popular thing. Maybe, I mean, I guess out in the South it is, or like out in the country. I don't know. But that was my first time hearing all the lyrics to Skip to My Lou, and it was delightful.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Judy I know we already spoke about the fact that Judy is supposed to be 15. She looks like she's in her 30s, and I am positive that is from all the drugs they're giving her. And the fact that she doesn't sleep.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And that makes me sad. The costumes are amazing. Like,
yeah?
Amazing. They're so stunning, so ornate. I didn't look and see who did the costumes for this film, but they're incredible.
You know what? You guys both, you and Desi watched this with us.
Yeah.
And you both commented on how plain the Christmas dress was.
Yes.
That was my favorite costume in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It was the least ornate. It was just very simple.
But it was like classic Christmas. It was like I thought it was like perfect. And then when you add the coat that also had the matching lining,
that was pretty rad.
And then she had the little like veil thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
And it had sparkles on it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole outfit was great.
The whole outfit was great. But of all the outfits she wore, that was the plainest thing she wore. It was the most simple.
Do we think the costume designer was Irene Sheriff?
Ooh.
Who also did
Story.
American Paris, The King and I, Cleopatra. Also check out this movie actually has two. Now that I know this, has two American in Paris. Well, three. Vincent Minnelli, who's the director of this film, also directed American in Paris. And also the fountain that you see at the World's Fair at the end of the film was also used in American Paris.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Check out the View the Right Thing episode of American Paris.
I know.
We have a mistake in it, which we corrected.
Oh, good.
Corrected in notes on the YouTube page.
Fabulous.
We just said a year wrong. We were a year off on it. It was a big deal.
Easy. But it happens. While the costumes are incredible, like every single character, every single actor, it just, chef's kiss. I would say that Esther, her character, dresses very old. Like, I don't necessarily know what teenagers wore in 1903, but she didn't look to be dressing like a teenager.
Did you feel like she looked drastically different? Like, I'm thinking about like the trolley scene, for example. Did you think she didn't seem like she was wearing clothes drastically different from the other people who were supposed to be her age?
A little bit.
They all had like the gloves and the
they had the gloves, but I feel like the girls had more frills.
I think it was just she just looked older. I mean, you know costumes better than costumes better than I do. So okay, so let's dig into this a little bit and think about it. Let's brainstorm this. Do we think that her outfits are a reflection? Like, how is that a reflection of her character? So, like at the Christmas party, is her outfit being plain specifically designed to maybe like make her stand out from the crowd? Is it because we know, or the writers know, that she's going to be proposed to that night? I don't know. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to learn some of the decisions that were made.
Yeah, I agree. Huh. Now that having her be plain more simple to stand out instead of ornate to stand out. That color definitely stands out.
Oh, yeah. And it's very Christmassy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those nice poofy sleeves.
The poofy sleeves.
I love those poofy sleeves.
Do you think that was like a velvety kind of dress? Yeah. I was like, I bet that feels good.
Right? Yes. Okay. I am more okay about the simplicity of her dress.
You know, the one thing I didn't like about her design, other than her eyebrows, was I didn't like her bangs. I didn't like her hair very much.
It was like a shelf of bang.
Yeah.
But I think that might have been a style, because her older sister had similar shelf bang.
But it didn't look, I don't know, hers didn't look as bad to me.
Right. Well,
I'm not a hairstylist.
It had to have been a wig. That was not her real hair.
It was not Judy Garland's hair?
No.
No. Really?
This part?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. If you say so.
No way.
I don't know.
I mean, if it were, I didn't know that they had hairspray like that back then. You know? I guess maybe they...
Pomade,
so much. There's so much stuff in her hair if that were real hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The Halloween section of this film.
Unhinged.
Truly unhinged.
We should have saved this for the Halloween episodes. It was bizarre.
So, and I had to look it up while we were watching it because I was like, what the fuck? The throwing a handful of flour into people's faces, that was really a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What a weird trick-or-treat thing.
The most it was so bizarre. Okay. So throwing flour in people's faces was a Halloween tradition that originated in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. It was a prank for, it was more in rural areas. But it became, pranks grew and became more destructive, including setting fires and breaking glass and tripping people. There were small children throwing shit into a fire in the middle of the street, and everyone was like, this is fine.
Furniture.
This is fine. They're just children.
And throwing dummies in front of trains, trolleys.
Yes.
Train cars. Trolley cars.
Yes. There was one thing that I pointed out while we were watching it. There was a boy dressed up for Halloween he had this big curly mustache drawn on his face, and he was dressed as a woman.
Yeah. There was another kid dressed as a woman, another boy. Yeah.
I was intrigued by that.
You were like, how progressive.
I know. Vincent, I didn't know.
I think there's it's weird. I don't know when the change happened where it was like boys can't wear girls' clothes and girls can't wear, I don't know when that change happened, but there was a much more, going even further back, there was a much more relaxed.
Yeah. Pink used to be a boy's color.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I like pink.
It really was. And a girl wearing pink was like, how could you wear pink? Ugh.
What would they wear?
Blue.
Blue? Women wore blue? So it swapped at some point. Interesting.
I don't want to be lying to you.
No, I mean, it's okay. You can lie to me. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Yes?
We're like,
you're curious?
What your next notes are?
Oh. Well, my next note was that, so when, I'm still talking about Halloween, when they're talking about, I killed so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. So throwing flour at the person was
making them a ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when Tootie goes up to, I don't know, Scary Man's house and throws, she's like, I killed him. And I was like, oh, God, history is weird. History sucks.
We did gloss over something, though.
Yes.
You just glossed right over the trolley song.
I did. I'm sorry.
Dare you? I know. So the trolley song is interesting. That's why I want to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the most famous song from this movie. Mm-hmm. But also, they had a lot of trouble with it. The producer was trying to do other movies and stuff too, and he's like, I want this trolley song. I need a song about a trolley, and the composers these guys were like writing songs, and the guy was like, no, this isn't right. He just was not happy with it. They're like, what is it about this song that you want? And they eventually realized he didn't want a song sung on a trolley. He wanted a song about a trolley. And so they went to the library and started looking up, like, you know, information about trolleys just in general. And they eventually came across an ad for a trolley.
Oh.
And on the ad, it said across, clang, clang, clang went the trolley. And they were like, okay, this is it. So they wrote the song and performed it for this producer. And he was like, Judy Garland's got to sing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It's a good song.
I completely, before watching it, I did not realize that the trolley song was from this movie.
Yeah. Well, and Judy Garland nailed it in one take. For those listening, her jaw is on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's Judy for you. Judy gets it done.
Yeah. It's all those uppers keeping her.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
You can go back to Halloween if you want.
I'm done with Halloween.
Okay.
I'm almost done with Halloween.
Yeah.
So Tootie pretends that the neighbor beat her up.
Yeah, I was a little unclear. Like, I think maybe he sort of did but she was like trying to protect them.
Yes. Because he didn't want them to get in trouble.
Yeah. And so she exaggerates what he did.
Yes. And then Esther runs over to smack him around.
Yeah, that might be my favorite scene. She beats the shit out of him.
Right? And it's only then that he's like, oh, she's aggressive. Now I like her.
No, he liked her before.
Really? Because he seemed very, like, sheepish and...
Well, I think he was nervous around her.
Oh.
Like they'd already done the, like, help me put out the lights and...
Right, and he was just, like, shaking her hand. He was like...
He's like, yeah, he didn't want to let go. And I think he didn't know
I thought she was squeezing his hand because she didn't want to let go.
I think it was both of them. But, yeah, I think they were both, like...
Oh.
Yeah, I think they were both really into each other. And he was just, like, awkward and not knowing how to be around a girl.
Okay.
Yeah. I think because then he like talks about wanting to call on her again, and then he shows up at the trolley, and there's actually a deleted scene.
Oh,
there's a whole song, and there's a scene because they reference it in the film when they not to jump to the end, but at the end of the movie, they're at the World's Fair at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition.
Yes,
so they're at the World's Fair, and he says, "I liked it better when it was just a swamp and it was just you and me." And it's a scene that had been taken out of the film where they go to the fairgrounds while they're building it all, and it's still just kind of swampy and stuff. And they have a moment and a song there that just didn't work for the film. So
that would have been nice to have in there, or take the line about the swamp out.
Yeah, I mean,
because I didn't understand what he was talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of a throwaway line at that point.
It is.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're building their relationship before Halloween.
Okay.
Just
throwing
it out there.
That's fine. Because I was like, Esther beating up John for hurting Tootie, and only then does he start hitting on her. I was like, come on, man.
That's when he's confident about her, I guess.
He's like,
to your point.
She feels strongly enough to, like, if she didn't care, she wouldn't have gone over there.
Yeah. She would just call the police.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, they're to your point, this is them coming out of their shells, right? Mm-hmm. So she's also been pretty reserved around him. Even that, like, she does this whole song. She sees him running after the trolley, and she does a whole song about how her heart's is pulling on her heartstrings and stuff. And then he shows up at the end, and she becomes very timid, very demure, very cutesy. She becomes really timid at the very end of that, right?
Yeah.
and they're both like awkward. And this is like the first moment where she's been just, this is who I am. Don't fucking touch my sister.
Yeah.
Pick on someone your own size. And like he sees her for who she really is for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good point that you made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's less about, oh, she's a fighter.
Yeah.
And more like she's a real person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just like putting on an act of who she wants me to think she is.
Yes. So the dad just up out of nowhere says, we're moving to New York. And the family starts complaining about having to live in a tenement house. Or is it called a tenement house or tenement building?
I guess.
And talking about like, yeah, but we're not wealthy. And I was like, say what?
Yeah. Your giant house with your housekeeper?
Your enormous house.
Your 5 kids.
Exorbitant, your extravagant gowns and everything. You're not wealthy?
Yeah, and he's a lawyer.
I know.
Yeah.
I am sure, and I understand that, like, even today, St. Louis is a hell of a lot cheaper to live in than New York.
Yeah. I suspect they were middle class. I suspect in that era and where they lived.
That's what middle class used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That they would have been considered middle class. They weren't like, so, wealthy would have been like the Rockefellers, right?
Yeah.
So, or the Hearsts.
Yeah.
And so I think they were probably considered closer to middle class.
Okay.
Yeah. Things were more attainable back then. Jobs were more attainable. Well, not during the Great Depression, but
but this wasn't during the
prior and after the Great Depression, though. Like it was easier to get a good paying job.
Yeah.
That you could actually, and jobs you would allow you to support your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you had a little bit of a better job, like a lawyer, then you could have a larger family and a larger house. But,
right. Because, God, he had 5 kids and his father or father-in-law lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it was Tootie's income. I don't know.
Tootie's income from the ice. Corsets. Ugh. Having
corsets.
to like train your body into a corset.
Tell me about it.
To be fair, there are occasions where I enjoy wearing a corset.
I was going to ask you if you've worn one.
I have. Yes. For like extended periods of time. And yes, it's uncomfortable. I think it sucks that it was a requirement. Sorry. That it was a requirement to be worn. Because sometimes it's just fun. They're not comfortable, but sometimes it's just fun.
Sometimes you just want to look pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to have like this funky curve to your body that your body won't necessarily naturally have, as long as you don't pull it too tight and break a rib, because that has happened.
Yeah.
But corsets. That grandpa, I love that grandpa so much.
Yeah, he's a real sweet guy.
He is a delight. He really cares. I think he's the mom's dad. I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
I think he's the mom's dad.
No way he raised that guy.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Like how is he such a kind and generous and creative and giving man, and he raised this man who like doesn't know anything about his family.
Yeah.
Me.
And never sets him straight. If he was his dad, he would have set him straight.
True. Yes.
They would have had a come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah. You're like, listen. Who John is the neighbor that Esther.
Was it John?
He prioritized basketball over picking up his tux for the biggest ball of the season.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I thought it was that he
was playing basketball.
I thought he like damaged it because he stopped to play basketball or something.
No, he was playing basketball and didn't get to the tailor in time before they closed.
So I thought he needed the tailor to fix his tux.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if he was in a tux? No. Where?
Or just had it with him. Like maybe he was walking and he had his he set it down to play basketball.
No, because she was like, can't you just call the tailor and ask him to open it up?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, you would still need to do that to fix the tux.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, that would take hours.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You would know. I wouldn't know. I have to do, that's the phrase that I, like, you talk about costumes, I'm just got to defer to you.
Yeah, repairing a tux could take hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to rescind this note because I was like 15 years old and already being proposed to. What in the world?
Well, why are you taking it back?
Because I was engaged when I was 15.
Well, there's a couple things with that, actually. So one, I love that he says we're practically we're of age. Practically, or mostly, or something.
Yes.
The age of consent in I don't know if it's the age of consent, but what the age you're able to get married?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as age of consent? I don't know.
No.
In Missouri, in 1904, was 15 years old.
Wow.
So they could have, they were
okay.
They were legit.
Okay.
You know, people were getting married super young back then, especially women. More women than men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want to become a school marm.
Ugh. Oh, God forbid.
or a librarian, like Mary from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yes.
In the version without George, she becomes a librarian, an
that's
old
right.
maid she's in the library. She's an old maid. She's 30.
Oh, no.
And she's an old maid. All right, what you got?
So I wrote, I can't decide if it was fashioned after the way the world worked back then, or if it was poorly written, but no one seems to be their age.
No. Yeah, I think it was probably just like, these are the people that are going to bring box office numbers. And also,
like,
we do that today.
Spoke like adults.
Oh.
It just didn't seem like they were written for their ages.
Yeah, I think that was pretty common of that era.
Of the 40s or
40s.
People in the early 1900s speaking like adults.
I think it was a common trope of 40s films for children to speak like adults a lot of the time. Yeah, or be like the smartest one in the room.
I see.
Yeah, I mean we do this a bit today too. Chloe Moretz made a career off of it.
So did oh my God.
Yes, God.
Dakota Fanning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The first movie she was in, I Am Sam.
She was like a smart kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, many Chloe Moretz movies.
Yes.
Like almost every Chloe Moretz movie, she's always like the smartest person in the room and always talks like an adult. Like all of her films as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know that I know.
And she sneers a lot. That's like her go-to facial expression. Like, come on, get a new facial expression. Here's a nickel, buy a new one.
The last note I have is, he storms in and demands marriage.
Oh, Warren.
Yes.
What a dick.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything about it, but we're getting married. And I was like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, how sweet. I can't believe he did that. And I wanted to be like, huh?
Yeah.
Friends, that's, first of all, not how you ask someone to marry you. Second of all, that's just not, I don't know. It just seemed very...
Those are not the most alarming things about that scene to me.
Tell me.
It's the middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night. It's
just become Christmas. It's like midnight.
Oh.
Remember, she gets proposed to at midnight.
Oh. Oh, Judy does? Or Esther?
Esther gets proposed to at midnight.
This is like,
she's
what,
like, oh, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas.
This is like probably 1 a.m. then.
Yes. That's the most alarming part, is he just barges into their house at 1 a.m. and starts screaming at people. That man is not well.
Oh, dear. I didn't even That part didn't even.
That's the part that bothered me the most about it.
Yeah.
Like it was like a funny cutesy thing for the era or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that really, I was like, it's too early to be doing this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Come back later. Come back when it's daylight.
Yeah.
Double digits, dude. Double digits.
Right. Double digits. Those are all the notes I have.
It's no note on have yourself a merry little Christmas.
No. I mean, my note would be she's singing it to her sister. She doesn't really seem like she's singing it to her sister. And then her other sister is asleep in the bed and doesn't wake up.
So I like that you're bringing those points up.
Great.
So what the other sister not waking up is what it is.
Yeah. I sleep like I'm dead, so that's fair.
She's not singing. I mean, she's singing it sort of to her sister, sort of to herself, sort of to John. So they look out the window and they see John in his place turning out the lights. And so I think she's trying to comfort her sister that everything will be okay because we'll be together. But she knows that she's not going to New York now. She's lying to her sister.
Oh.
And so she's singing this sort of like wistful, kind of sad, kind of happy song because she's happy because she's got this new exciting news she hasn't told anybody. Oh. And she's looking out at John across the way and realizing that all of these things, this hope that she's filling her sister with isn't really real. So I think you're right. She's not exactly singing this to her sister. What was your other thing about it?
The sister sleeping in the bed.
Yeah, there were
just
three
behind
things.
them.
There were three things, but I don't remember.
She's
the big thing is that she's not singing to her sister. Yeah, but they changed the lyric. They changed the lyrics. I think this is the first time the lyrics were changed, and we have since sung the song this way since the movie came out. Which is so I have a note because so because she's singing it to this little girl, Judy Garland had a problem with singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, It May Be Your Last."
That's part of the lyrics?
And they changed it to "Let Your Heart Be Light."
Yes, that's my favorite line.
Comes from this movie. They changed it to that for this movie.
May be your last.
Because she was like, I don't want to sing that to this 7-year-old girl. And the girl's supposed to be 5. I think she was like 6 or 7 when they made it. But so I thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, I think that line is one of the loveliest parts of that song.
Yeah. Well, since you don't have any other notes, I do have a few notes
Great.
that just kind of from various things in the film. A technical thing, I mentioned earlier that I got some notes about lights.
Mm-hmm.
I won't bore you with all of the technical things of that, but the lighting in this movie is fantastic.
It really is.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
But the scene when they're turning the gas lamps off in the house, they're turning off all the chandeliers and stuff.
Yes.
And it gets dimmer and dimmer in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they do such a good job of making it feel really natural. But at the time, the type of lights that the studio used, this is where I'm not going to say what they are, were not dimmable. So what they did is they created giant Venetian blinds behind these lights. And as they turned out each light, they would slowly start to close the Venetian blinds.
Wow.
Really cool, innovative idea behind that.
That is so clever.
Yeah.
I did not realize also back then, because we remarked about this, that the lamps were a mixture of electricity and fire.
Yeah. You guys were like, there's fire on this lamp. I was like, it's gas.
Electricity and gas. Nothing could go wrong there.
Yeah.
Did houses used to explode?
I don't think so.
I wonder.
I don't know.
That was
I don't know.
a new thing I did not realize.
Yeah. So a couple more things.
Yeah.
The Louisiana Purchase Exposition, 1904, has been claimed to be the birthplace of the ice cream cone.
Ooh.
And the hot dog in a bun.
Hot dog in a bun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish that we would have seen them eating one of those things.
I know.
They did eat ice cream in the movie.
Yeah, out of a bowl.
Did that cake look weird?
Yes.
The cake looked weird. It looked like it was styrofoam or something.
It looked very dense.
Yeah. Styrofoam.
Right. Well, because they did end up eating some of it.
Yeah. Well, kind of. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
somebody ate. She fed some to that little child.
Yeah.
Because Judy Garland didn't freaking eat because they were so obsessed with her weight, which is why they started giving her stimulants, was to keep her like energized and skinny. Yeah, crazy. So this movie is considered to be a Christmas film. I mean, I think we get why. We've had conversations on the podcast before, like the Die Hard episode where we discuss whether or not things are really Christmas movies or not. I have, feelings, but a lot of people see this as a Christmas movie, and I get why. If you start this film at exactly 10:22 and 30 seconds p.m., the church bells will ring at midnight on Christmas Day for you.
Cute.
Yeah. So you could actually time this movie up.
Very nice.
Yeah. And the last thing is Liza Minnelli, daughter of Vincent Minnelli and Judy Garland. This is the movie where Judy Garland met Vincent Minnelli.
Okay. And how old was he?
I don't know, but she was 21.
21.
Yeah. And she wasn't 15. At least she was an adult.
At least she wasn't 15.
She didn't want to do this movie initially. She was like, I'm done playing teenagers. And they gave her the script and she read it and she's like, okay, yeah, I can do this. How old was he?
He was born in 1903.
And when was she born?
She was not. She was born
like
1922.
Yeah.
So he was 20 years older than her. So he was 40.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. Especially that era, like, who cares? But
sure.
I know a lot of people with big age differences, so I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is Liza Minnelli's favorite film because she feels like she got to watch her parents sort of fall in love by watching this film. The way that Vincent Minnelli framed Judy Garland throughout the film, she could like kind of feel that he was falling in love with her. He frames her around a lot of curtains and with flowers and things like that. Yeah. Whereas like the other actors, he doesn't
puts
really
like
do that.
This rosy haze on her.
Yeah. So she just like feels like really connected to both of her parents through this film. So, which is kind of sweet.
Nice.
I like it.
Cute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call this a Christmas movie.
I get why though. Because
she sings a Christmas song? Because it ends at Christmas?
It doesn't actually end at Christmas. It ends in the spring, technically. But
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, like, the lead up to this is like a Christmas miracle, right? Like, the lead up to this is that we're going to leave town, and it's going to kind of ruin the plans of a bunch of people. Yeah. And the Christmas present at the end is that they don't go, right? So... So I kind of get it. And plus there's the Christmas song in it. Yeah. And it's about family and togetherness and self-sacrifice. The dad sort of self-sacrifices at the end. And yeah. So, I mean, I get it. And and I think it probably has played on TV a lot at Christmas time. As we know, like lots of people believe Wizard of Oz is a Christmas film because what? So the only time Wizard of Oz used to be played on TV, especially overseas, was on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, maybe. I can't remember which one. And so a lot of, I think in England, that's the only time they saw it, other than in the theater for pre VHS. I mean, that was the only way, is if you got lucky enough for it to be played on TV. And so a lot of people view The Wizard of Oz as a Christmas film, and I don't know. Die Hard maybe is or isn't a Christmas film. I think it's up to you. How do you associate it, and how is it? Is it a culturally significant thing at specific times of the year? And I think this movie, Wizard of Oz, Die Hard, those films get searched on Google more in November and December than any other time of the year. So that kind of tells you that they're culturally they're significant as Christmas films. So cool. I don't believe there's really. I think the idea of it. So I didn't like really nail this in the Die Hard episode, but I think that my view of what actually could be a Christmas, because I don't believe Christmas is a genre, what could be if you were going to say there's such a thing as a Christmas film is incredibly narrow. Oh. And I think for me, and everybody is different. You guys can have your own beliefs. But for me, the criteria is, can you replace Christmas with something else? If you can't, it's a Christmas film. If you can, if it's recital, Easter, Valentine's Day, like if you can replace Christmas with any of those kinds of things, big presentation or whatever, then it can't be a Christmas film. But if Christmas is crucial to the core of the plot and you can't remove Christmas from it, then maybe you can have a Christmas film, which, maybe we'll get to see. Maybe we'll get to see one.
Maybe. Wow.
Should we draw? Oh, would you recommend this movie?
I don't know.
I think so. I think, yeah. I see why it's on the lists of 1001 movies to see before you die. I get it.
It is
iconic music, iconic
beautiful.
Actors. Yeah,
like it's beautiful.
It's a feel-good story.
I don't really like the story.
Oh, really? You didn't feel like it was a feel-good classic story?
No.
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I really learned anything.
Is that
for me?
Is that it's a prerequisite
for me?
Interesting. Now I want to challenge.
I don't know that I feel like such a jerk saying this, but I don't feel like my life is any better from watching it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of movies that, do you feel that way about all the movies we watch?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like The Wild Bunch. Do you feel like your life is actually enhanced after having watched that? Which is a movie that you said you did like and would recommend. Sorry, I'm being challenging.
I don't know.
I don't know. My life is better for having watched this because I experienced something new. Mm-hmm. I saw the origin of things that I knew about but hadn't seen the origin of.
Yeah.
I have an appreciation for the techniques they used in making this film, right? Had I not seen this film, I wouldn't have any of those appreciations. So is my life enhanced after having watched this? And I would say yes. You don't have to feel that way.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't recommend it?
No.
All right. I would. She wouldn't.
That's fine.
Go figure. Maybe I'm just easier on the movies. You're like, man, Bonnie and Clyde, man.
I guess I'm just picky.
It's okay to be picky. It's okay. Not everything is made for everyone. Some people are more open to. There's plenty of movies I don't like, but I think I'm just willing to just be like, yeah, why not? It's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to hurt you. Not going to hurt you to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, bucket's up there though. It's the red one. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Sorry. But we showed your shirt again by you standing up.
Yes. Okay. Oh la la. Violent Night.
Speaking of Die Hard.
Violent Night. Oh boy.
So you haven't seen this?
No. I have not.
You're in for a treat. It's fun. It's fun. David K. Harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't like David Harbour?
Yeah. I wanted to see it when it came out and I just didn't. And then time passed.
It's great. I really enjoy it. But, I enjoyed meeting in St. Louis too. So who knows what you're going to think. All right. Okay, everybody. Until next time, Bon Cinema.